Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Cooking with Kevin. It's been a couple weeks since we've seen each other. Sam is saying hi to you. We hope everybody's had a good 2 weeks since the last time we saw each other. Today we have a special guest, my beautiful wife, Rhonda. So what we're going to do is a two-part video this week of baking for Kevin. Rhonda's making her don't get your hands dirty homemade bread, and I'm making cinnamon swirl butter swim biscuits. Let's get into this. Come on into the kitchen with us.
He's got the pan, he's got the heat, making magic you can eat. Flip it, stir it, season right. Kevin's cooking up tonight. From the skillet to the plate, every bite is gonna be great. Grab a fork, come on in. It's time to cook with Kevin.
So as we start on today's special edition of Baking for Kevin, we're going to show you what we need for Rhonda's no-fail, don't get your hands dirty white bread. So we start with between 4 and 5.5 cups of flour. We use a bread flour, and Rhonda starts with 4 cups. And what we can do is we can always add to it as we go along. If you've made bread before, you see that sometimes you need to add flour to stiffen up the flour or to make it stretchier, but you can't take away when you've put in too much, so you're better off to start with less. We have 2 teaspoons of salt. We use the Fleischmann's bread booster to help things go. It's 1.5 teaspoons per cup, so because we have 4 cups of flour, we now have 6 teaspoons of the bread booster. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of oil. We have a 1/4 cup of sugar, not salt, no, sugar. And in here, as you can see, the yeast is happy and starting to bubble. It's 2 cups of temp water between 105 and 115 degrees. You can just use hot tap water and use a thermometer to measure it out, along with 1 tablespoon of sugar, and we use the Fleischmann's quick rise yeast. So as you can see, the yeast is happy and ready, and now we're going to start adding our ingredient. Going to add the sugar, the 1/4 cup of sugar. Out of the 4 cups of flour, we're going to add 3 cups along with the bread booster, the salt, and now the flour. We're going to start with 3 cups just to be safe. We're going to start on low to begin with, and we can speed it up from there as we go along. So this is going to go on low for about 4 to 5 minutes. So it's been 4 minutes, and this is how it looks. So now we're going to add some more flour.
Down to the soul, see rings all gold. Why you kill like Betty Boop? Fat back, make it swole. Okay, I do what I want.
Okay, so it's been about another 2 minutes, maybe 3, but we think it's closer to 2. We're going to lift this puppy up and take a look. And you see that? Do you see the way it's not tearing? It's stretching. That is what we want. Look at that. And see the way she touches that? So now we've taken our 2 tablespoons of oil. We've oiled the bowl where the dough is going to go. So she's going to shape it kind of into a ball a little bit. We're going to put it in the bowl and we're going to give it a twist, and then we're going to turn it around and oil the other side. Just like that. We're going to cover it. We're going to put it in a warm place for at least an hour until it gets double its shape. It could take up to 2 hours, but that's what we're going to do next. Ho, ho, ho. So we're going to punch it down because now it's time to roll it into shape. And now we're going to put it on our lightly floured table. We're going to cut this into two because we're making two white bread loaves. We have these great deep dish bread pans that we got from Amazon, and they're absolutely fantastic. So Rhonda's going to shape it out. And the important part here is to make sure that you fold the edges in, that you roll it fairly tight so you don't end up with a bread loaf that has a big ring in the center of it. That's what happens when people don't do this the right way. So you want to fold it, not scrunch tight, but you want to fold it fairly tight.
Like a burrito.
Add the covers on so they can go into the oven for about another hour to rise again. Remember what we said, you don't have to have a proof box. Just turn the light on in your oven. Put these in your oven. They'll be good to go. So now they have risen to just above, because you gotta remember these are deep dish, so they're not gonna rise above like they normally would. And now they're going to go in the oven for 30 minutes. Now it's time to check it and see if it's ready. And we do this by knocking on it with your finger. If it sounds hollow, that means it's ready. See? You're going to let it rest for about 10 minutes before you take it out of the pans. And then you can take it out of the pans, put it on a rack, and let it cool for about an hour before you decide to slice into it. And the finished product is absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Oh, yes, she did. We hope everybody enjoyed that first part with Rhonda making her Don't Get Your Hands Dirty homemade bread. Right now we're going to jump into my Cinnamon Swirl Butter Swim Biscuits. Jump right into this and get started on today's Cinnamon Swirl Butter Swim Biscuits. So we have 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour with 3 tablespoons of white sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, or half a teaspoon of iodized salt. We have a stick of butter. I like to cut it into smaller cubes because it melts quicker than one big one. And we have 2 cups of buttermilk. You may not need all 2 cups, but again, you're better off to start with more than not enough. In here, we have our cinnamon swirl mixture, which is 1/3 cup of dark brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and 1/4 cup of heavy cream. What we're going to do while I get ready to mix this is, like I said, my oven is already warmed up to 375 degrees. You're going to want it to go to 425 to bake these. So take this, turn your oven up to 425 degrees, throw this in there. You want the butter to be melted and brown and sizzling, and that can happen while you're mixing your flour mixture together. So we're going to take our flour mixture. Let's just stir all of this in. Make sure it's all mixed in really well. You do not want to use a blender for any of this part whatsoever, okay? You want it to be lumpy and wet and goopy. So there we go. We've mixed all that together nice and well. We're going to make a well in the center, and we're going to start using our buttermilk. I'm going to go a little bit more than half to start with, and we're going to mix it in. And here we go. The butter is melted and crispy and bubbling, as you can see. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add half our mixture. So I've just put kind of a line down the center so you can kind of guess it in half. And you don't want to put it all in there at once because it makes it harder to spread. That looks like it's about half. So now just kind of spread all this out the best you can. Because of all the butter that's in here, it's not an easy thing to do, but you want to work fairly fast at it. And now you're going to take your pre-mixed cinnamon mixture and you're going to pour it on. Push it up against the sides. Make sure they're up nice and tight against the sides. And this is when you take a knife, or as you can see, I have a dough scraper. There you go, see how that looks? See how I've pushed it all up against the sides? Because that's really important to get a nice crispy outer crust. And now you're going to take your dough scraper and you're going to want to put these into 9. Just like that. Look at that. Make sure to put your baking glove back on because this is still really, really hot. And now it's going into the oven at 425. Make sure your oven is on the middle oven rack. Throw it in the center. There you go. Set your timer to begin with at 22 minutes. But you're going to want to check it at about the 15 to 20 minute mark just to be safe. But we'll start at 22. These can take anywhere from 20 minutes to 30 minutes to bake. Let's take a look and see how we're doing. We're about halfway through. Oh, look at that butter swim around those cinnamon swirl butter swim biscuits. Oh yes. And it's time to take these out of the oven. Shall we take a peek? Oh, look at that. Can you see the butter swimming around them? These are done, ready to be cut. Just to be safe, run this around the outside. As you can see, they already move. You already have your slice marks in there. We're going to take a center piece out so we can see exactly how it looks all the way around. And that is this week's edition of Cooking with Keven. We hope everybody enjoyed the special baking edition with my beautiful wife, Rhonda. Please remember, never let anybody control the love that burns inside of you. It's your love and your light. And no one, even temporarily, can control what makes your heart beat with happiness. Until we see you next time, peace. And that is another edition of Cooking with Keven. And hey, no bloopers. Who would have guessed? Even temporarily can control what makes your heart beat with happiness.
You almost had it.
Just close.
Say it out loud.
No.